Today on The Boot Guy, I do a few questions and answers, answering a few emails from you guys who've emailed me. So, sit back, relax, let's get to it. So my first email is actually from two different guys about the same question, roughly about the same question. So it's from Chuck in San Diego, California, and Carl from St. Cloud, Minnesota. Both guys loosely asked me about waterproofing boots and about waterproofing old boots. And they both sent me pictures for the current, giveaway that I'm doing. So they sent me pictures of their old boots and they bought new boots. But their questions were that these older boots that they had, these older models, they just didn't want to throw them out and get rid of them. Judging by the photos of what I saw, guys, you should probably be pitching those boots out, probably giving them the Goodwill or something like that, whatever you choose to do. But, just so I can answer your questions, and just so you guys understand that, how I feel about this. When you're wearing old boots, you're actually not doing your body any good. Once you start to pronate heels and wear down soles and you lose support and stuff, your back hurts, your knees hurt and whatnot. But like you guys both said, it's just for yard work and running around with the kids and stuff. Okay, so great. So you want to know how to waterproof them. Well, there's all kinds of great things on the market. Okay, my personal favorite for years has been classic mink oil. Mink oil, every pair of boots you own, black, brown, oxblood, green Doc Martens, whatever you got, mink oil always does the best. Now you can buy boot oil and you can buy boot conditioner and all these other things that soften the boot up and make it feel, extra nice and whatnot. Okay, that's great if you're talking about those kinds of boots. But I'm talking about work boots here. I'm talking about your fishing boots. I'm talking about your hunting boots. I'm talking about the boots you're going to walk through shit with. And you're not going to really care. It's not going to break your heart when they get a little dirt on them or scuffed or scratched, okay? It's those kinds of boots. The other stuff, well, save that for other times, right? But mink oil is awesome. If the boot's 100% leather, all the way around, a little bit of Cordura maybe in places, mink oil's good. It seals in the leather. It's like putting suntan lotion on your boots. It's protecting it as if the water were the sun, giving off its ultraviolet radiation. This does it. But this isn't the only product on the market. Now, there's other stuff too. So, here I got liquid silicone. Now, this stuff, it works. It's a chemical. It basically it's silicone, just like silicone spray or whatnot, but it's a liquid silicone. It seals in the seams. It cures the leather. It adds a waterproofing compound to your boot. Now, personally, I don't touch this stuff. I don't go near this stuff. But a lot of guys who wear weak boots, a lot of guys who wear the rough side of, when boots are made on the rough side of the leather, not on the smooth side of the leather, they tend to go with the silicone. Now the third product I got is basically heavy-duty silicone spray. Now what differs from this to this is this has an applicator. This you brush on with that little thing in there, okay? This is silicone spray. Now it's a percentage of what's in here is in here because of the aerosols and it hit the projectiles and everything else. I've had the guys explain it to me. It's pretty darn confusing, but it makes sense. So this isn't 100% silicone. It's pretty damn close. I mean, there's a percentage of it in here. But what's beautiful about this stuff is all your outdoor boots, like your hiking boots and your fishing boots and your hunting boots that have lots of Cordura and lots of other materials and lots of intricate sewn in tongues and stuff like that, this is what you want to use. And this stuff you want to use outdoors and you want to give it like 3 or 4 coats. I'm not going to say kill a can on one pair of boots, but for the life of the boots, you should go through one of these if you're trying to keep them waterproof. Now, here's the bad part. They're never going to be 100% waterproof, not like wearing a Gore-Tex boot or something like that. They're going to be water resistant in the strongest use of the word resistant, not waterproof. But this stuff can also spray down your Carhartt. You can spray the shoulders, you can spray the sleeves. if you don't mind, I mean, remember, we're talking work gear here. We're not talking out weekend dress Carhartt. We're talking your work Carhartt. So you can spray this down and keep that water off you, keep that dirt off you. You can spray your pants. You can spray anything made from nylon. I mean, it's tent spray, it's boot spray. You get the picture. I'm done. Guys, I hope that helped out. All right, so my next email. Well, this was more of a personal email. You know, it's from Warren. He's in Chicago. And he asked me, he's like asking me about boots, about fit and whatnot. And then at the end of the email, he asked me, hey, boot guy, I'd be really interested in seeing what boots you wear. So, Warren, let me show you. Let's talk about the boot guy's boots, shall we? All right, so my favorite boot, my go-to boot, my personal boot, is this Thorogood. This is Thorogood's number, and this is an older Thorogood, and I don't have this number memorized. It's 834-6760. Yes, it's a tactical duty boot, and this has been my go-to boot for the last 4 years. If you can believe that this thing has got 4 years of wear on it, I sometimes can't. Every season, I say, I'm going to pitch out those Thorogoods and I'm going to go get a brand new pair because the newer stuff from Thorogood is kick-ass in their tactical line. Their waterproof tactical line. It's really awesome stuff. But for some reason, this boot just doesn't die. If I put it away... Now, mind you, I don't wear this boot once it gets above 60 degrees. Once it gets above 60 degrees, I move into other boots and we'll see that. I wear this in the winter. It's not insulated, but it is waterproof, and I have been treating this boot with mink oil and silicone spray for the life of the boot. So even though it comes with a Sympatec liner, which keeps it 100% waterproof, I do know that after all these flexes, that has broken down. So this has been my go-to boot, and probably not going to be my go-to boot much longer. I'm hoping that I can come to terms with just letting that thing go. So this is my King Pittsburgh. This has been my fishing boot for the last 3 salmon seasons. Now, here in Chicago, if you're not familiar with where Chicago sits along Lake Michigan, have a look on a map. We've got a really nice little bend right there. And every season, salmon come into the harbors in Chicago to spawn. So there's lots of guys who snag fish, who I fucking hate those guys. There's lots of guys who throw sacks, and they're usually doing the best. And then there's guys like me that throw spoons. But because you throw spoons, you walk a lot. So this boot, when I put this thing on in the morning and I get out there at about 4 o'clock, I can walk. Now, this is where you're going to have to look on a map to figure out just how far this is. I can walk from Diversey Harbor in the harbor, walk the whole harbor, and then go back out on the shoreline, and I'll walk down to Montrose. Now, roughly, I believe it's close to an 8-mile walk. I could be off because of all my loops and turns, but roughly I'm putting 10 miles in this boot every time I put it on and I go fishing in it. This Pittsburgh has been very dependable. It's not insulated, but I did get it a half size bigger thinking that I was going to use it for my fishing boot. And by doing that, I'm able to put a polypropylene liner and a wool sock on when it's so cold that I really don't want to be out there fishing, but I know that this is the day that I'm going to catch that coho that's going to fill up my freezer. And this is the boot that I reach for. All right, so Keen's dead. So this past, it was October. So this past October, I wanted to think about moving into something different. And that's when I got this pair of Danner's Lights. Now, this is a beautiful boot. It's American made. It's Gore-Tex. These boots are awesome. What's not awesome about this boot is it's a pain in the ass to put on because of the Gore-Tex. For some reason, I just like to jump in my boots. I just like to put my foot in there, wrap my speed laces up, and be done. This boot does not allow me to do that. I actually have to sit down to get this boot on. I have to move the lining around. I have to get my foot just right inside there, adjust my sock and shit like that. But once I get there, once that's done, I could spend 15, 18 hours in this boot, and I have. I have put this boot on at 4 in the morning and taken this boot off at 2 in the morning and been happy. My feet weren't sore or anything. Now, the break-in period on this Danner Light, 2-3 weeks. You know, there was a little section in each of the boots where it was kind of just coming down on my toes, but that was only while the boots were cold. And I don't mean cold as in I leave them outside, but as you start to wear a leather product, it acclimates to your temperature, to your body temperature, and so it gets soft. Now this is Gore-Tex lined inside, so that takes a little bit longer. So there was 3 or 4 hours when I was first breaking them in where they were a little uncomfortable. So that's it, Warren. I hope you enjoyed that. And those are the Boot Guy's boots. And this has been question and answers. I realize it went a little bit longer, but there was 3 boots. There's some waterproof and stuff. So, hey, let me know what's going on with you. If you're buying a new pair of boots, send me an email. If you're on the fence about what you're getting and you don't know, shoot me an email. I'm pretty good at getting back to guys as quick as possible. The email comes through my phone, and my phone's always on, and it's always with me. So don't forget to hit my subscribe button below. That really helps out, and it really encourages me to do more boot reviews and to be placing those calls and just getting all the good information about the boots from my customers and people that I meet in the boot world. So until the next time, I'm the Boot Guy. Thanks for watching.